to have a point guard that can do it all for you, can pass the ball, he can score, he can do everything. I mean, it's obviously imperative for a team to have someone like that. And someone off the court that's also able to motivate his team is also something you really want to see with the team. To honestly just boost morale.
Well, you hear the buzzer in the background. That means it's 6:30, and we are just moments away from tip-off. Now, obviously, you look on the floor, and one of the biggest differences this year, Matt, is going to be the masks. In all of the winter sports around the state of Connecticut and mostly around the country, athletes will have to wear masks. How do you feel in the sport of basketball, especially where cardio is imperative? I'm going to touch on that in just a moment with you. We can talk about how the mask wearing will impact. We're going to kick it over to the PA man, the legend here in New Canaan, Bill Brown, and go through the starting lineups for both teams. He will do for you. The time is 6:32 Eastern Standard Time, and that means it is time for New Canaan basketball to return to New Canaan High School. The New Canaan Rams matched up against the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. You're joining us here from NCTV 78, the official high school television station of New Canaan High School. And we are just about to tip it off here, so as our phenomenal PA man, Bill Brown, just broke it down, the starting lineups for both teams. Very interesting starting lineup for New Canaan, one that Coach Danny Melzer loves, as we mentioned in the pregame open. It will feature Will Bozzella, Blake Wilson, Christian Sweeney, Leo Magnus, and Dennis Mulcahy. 4 seniors and a sophomore, and Blake Wilson. 6'1" sophomore, that is, number 13, who is a rising star here in New Canaan Athletics. Leo Magnus and Eric Leonard at the tip, and a little bit of a malfunction. Just like the year 2020 and 2021, nothing is perfect. So we're going to get a mulligan here. And a clean tip-off will go to New Canaan. Leo Magnus wins it for him. And Will Bozzella back for the first time in nearly 2 full years after tearing his ACL last season and his MPFL as a sophomore. The give and go to Bozzella. Goes baseline, bounce pass to Wilson. Open corner 3, and he's short. Rebound Leonard. And here is the driver of this offense for Ludlow, Connor Lawler. Here in the corner is Mockler, and Mockler misses. James Mockler, that is. Christian Sweeney slows the pace down here. And Leo Magnus heading to Colorado College next year to play basketball. Terrific athlete at 6'5". He's probing. He takes the deep two, and he can't connect too strong. Rebound for James Mockler. Bringing it up here for Ludlowe is Alex Vlandis. And on the corner, it's Lawler. Guarded by Sweeney. And that one a travel on Mockler. Him and his twin brother, 2 senior captains on this team. And Sean.
And Ian, it seems like New Canaan's really closing out hard on these Ludlowe players. They're not giving him any looks at drives or shots right now.
Still a scoreless game through a minute 20. Great pass from Will Pizzella, and foul on the floor as Blake Wilson looked to take it baseline. As that one is going to go on James Mockler, who traveled on one end and fouled on the other. A rough start for him. Starting 5 for Fairfield Ludlowe includes Connor Lawler, Alex Vlandis, Charlie Began, James Mockler, and Eric Leonard. Magnus down low. Hook shot is good. And Leo Magnus scoring the first points for New Canaan basketball this season.
And, you know, Ian, that was a great post up there by Magnus. Had a smaller defender on him, and he was really able to just take advantage of that and score.
Leonard snatches the pass near the top of the key. Mulcahy draped all over him. Slipping is Magnus. Pull-up jumper for Vlandis is off to the left. Rebound goes to Mockler. Here's Lawler, pulls up, and can't can it. And it looks like he's a little bit hobbled, which could be a big blow. Magnus slicing and dicing, gets it to Christian Sweeney. As Ludlowe resets defensively in the half court. Sweeney swings it to Mulcahy on the elbow. Give and go to Sweeney. Spots up for the open three, and Christian Sweeney connects.
And you know what, Ian? You know what that three came off of? All that movement in the paint there by those cutting players from New Canaan. It really just confused, and it just gave him a wide open three.
Christian Sweeney had a big game in New Canaan's 25-point scrimmage win over Greenwich last week. Hitting a lot of perimeter shots, looking to do it again today. Good ball movement? Maybe not, as the ball is out of bounds, but it looks like it was potentially off a New Canaan deflection, so it will stay in Ludlow's hand. Connor Lawler looked a little bit hobbled up earlier in this quarter, but seems like he is okay now as James Mockler will inbound. A whole new starting 5 for Fairfield Ludlowe this year. In the 8th year of Coach John Dailey's tenure. Dennis Mulcahy getting a little too physical down low. He's called for the foul. And heading to the line will be James Mockler for his first trip. And Mulcahy, you know, we were talking to new Rams assistant coach Ted Cashman, and a lot of people are really excited about the athleticism that Mulcahy has, and he might not even know how athletic he is.
Yeah, you know, he even said I don't think he even knows he can do.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not. Maybe he's not using it to his full potential, but hopefully we'll see a couple dunks out of him today, Ian.
Well, I know if I was 6'5", I know I'd be able to dunk, or at least I'd work to be able to dunk. I think we'll see a few jams from Dennis as the season progresses. 5-2 is your score, a low-scoring affair. As New Canaan swings it all around, the shot is blocked down low by Ludlowe. Magnus missing the putback, getting his own miss, and finally getting it to go.
Well, you know what, Ian? If this is how the game's going to go, it might be impossible for Ludlowe to take over the game. They're letting New Canaan get these offensive rebounds. Well, Magnus just took down like 2 in a row.
Three-pointer for Ludlowe is up and off to the right. The putback attempt is good from the free throw line from Charlie Began. 7-4 game as Stephen Keating looks to check in for Ludlowe, and Braden Sweeney, the twin brother of Christian Sweeney, looks to check in for the Rams. Will Pizzella near the logo. Again, getting his first varsity action since New Canaan's state championship win in 2019, and he swatted off the backboard. Lawler in transition. Connor Lawler puts up the shot in the foul on Dennis Mulcahy. His second foul already, just over 5 minutes into the first.
And both these teams sticking with a man-to-man defense. They seem to have a lot of trust in their players. to not get beat up the dribble.
Well, I talked to Coach John Dailey earlier this week, and he preached the importance of defense in this scheme that he always looks to implement. And it looks like we could potentially be seeing a mass break for the first time if this is what they're going to be looking like.
No, Ian, this is crazy. I have never seen this in all the years of sports I've watched. Something this crazy. They stopped the game completely.
Do you feel or see that the players look a little bit extra gassed early on, or does it look like they're playing at 100%?
I mean, obviously it looks like they're playing at 100%, but, I mean, they're definitely winded. I mean, I know running up and down a court is not easy to do with a mask on, or without a mask. It's still not that easy, so.
It definitely is a challenge. When I talked to head coach John Dailey of Fairfield Ludlowe earlier this year as the mask break concludes, he had nothing but praise to say about his star point guard, Connor Lawler, who gets his first points in this game at the charity stripe, describing him as, quote, "He's our only guy who played a lot of varsity minutes last year. He's our motor. He drives the car. He's our point guard. Super fast, loves to push the tempo, and he's a total winner, our nucleus." And he goes 2 for 2 from the line there to make it a 1-point game, as now both Christian and Braden Sweeney are on the floor for New Canaan. Braden wearing number 1, Christian Sweeney on the far side of the floor repping number 12. Magnus on the wing, bouncing it to Bozzella. Magnus takes it inside, kick out to Wilson. Again over to Magnus. He shoots for 3 and airballs. And the rebound goes to Ludlow's number 14, Charlie Began.
And you know, Ian, it looks like actually Ludlow switched up to a 2-3 defense with 2 guys up front and 3 back, and it seems to be confusing the New Canaan offense.
He is fouled by Will Bozzella, his first, but not a shooting foul, a foul on the floor. So he'll inbound. Blandis, really described by Coach Dailey as one of the few big shot makers they have on the team this year. An excellent cut back door, and that one will go to James Mockler. And just like that, off the assist from Blandis, Ludlow has its first lead, 8-7. A slow start really for both teams, but Ludlow starting to pick it up. Here's Bozzella. Back to Magnus. Collects the bad pass. Bozzella, top of the key, floats inside and misses off the glass. Braden Sweeney gets a bit physical there as Blandis picked up his dribble. Far side of the floor, James Mockler passes, intercepted by Leo Magnus. Fast break opportunity, and he puts it down with 2 hands. That's your traditional New Canaan hops right there, am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you don't see that every day in New Canaan. Wow. Terrific finish.
It's like you almost knew he was going to put it down. You were just hoping you get the timing right. Leo Magnus with an emphatic fast break jam. And New Canaan retakes the lead. Keating swings it over to Began. Landis gets the screen from Keating. Takes it baseline, floats it, and it doinks away. Rebound Ludlow. Mockler with the reverse, and it's smooth off the glass, despite the shot contest from Leo Magnus. Just under 2 minutes left in the opening frame. Magnus to Bozzella, who's still scoreless. Finding Magnus, open 3, off a little bit short. Batted by Braden Sweeney, and Will Bozzella cleans it up.
And, you know, that's what you're going to get from a guy like Braden Sweeney. He's not the biggest scorer in the world, but if you need him to set a screen, you need him to do something like that, he will.
He will do the dirty work for this New Canaan team. Described as a quiet guy by Coach Melzer, but a guy who will do anything for his squad. Another missed free from Magnus, and another rebound for Braden Sweeney right on cue. Magnus takes it inside, and a foul is called, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Magnus. When you've got a body like that and the ability to drive to the hoop, sometimes you're going to get a little bit too physical. And checking into the game for New Canaan, their star freshman, Griffin Bramlett. You rarely see a freshman get this kind of varsity action this early in their careers.
Yeah, and you see also Jack Laddick checking into the game. Two very young players, and with Blake Wilson, so 3 underclassmen on the floor right now for New Canaan.
And actually, both the Bramletts are on the floor. The senior number 10, Gavin Bramlett, returns to the program after taking a year off last year, and Griffin Bramlett. To the hoop is Connor Lawler, and he's going to head to the line after the foul, the blocking foul from Gavin Bramlett. I believe that makes it 2 sets of brothers on this New Canaan team, the Sweeneys and now the Bramletts. It's just going to make it more confusing for us up here in the stand. But at least the Bramletts aren't identical twins.
Yeah, and you saw Gavin Bramlett there try to set his feet, but he couldn't get it off in time. That's why he picked up the foul there.
Substitution for Ludlowe as Patrick Alusha will check in. Blandis will check out. And we were talking about it earlier in the game, Matt, is Ludlowe this year, they lost really their whole starting lineup and especially their bigs. But how do you think they've looked down low tonight?
As of right now, I mean, they're looking pretty good for a very small, not a very small team, but a smaller team.
Yep.
They're hustling. They're getting the boards. They look like they kind of want it right now more than New Canaan does on the offensive rebounds.
Gladdick for 3, and he checks in and makes a big impact off the bench. The sophomore, Jack Gladdick, regains the lead for New Canaan. On the other end, Galusha finding Keating, and he's swarmed by New Canaan, missing the rim. Bramwood in transition gets it to Blake Wilson. Bramwood extra pass. Gladdick another 3. He's a little short. And a foul down low, I believe, will go on Braden Sweeney as he pushed Galusha to the floor. A very competitive back and forth frame between these two teams. Ludlowe bested New Canaan 49-35 last year when they played in the regular season, and New Canaan won 39-26 the season prior. So a great rivalry somewhat. 4 seconds on the clock. Lawler's looking to take it all the way. He misses. The putback no good. And that is how we will end the first quarter here from New Canaan High School. No fans, but no problems. They have come to play so far, Matt, a first quarter, which is New Canaan up oh so slightly, 12-11. And, we'll bring it back up here to the stands. And first, your takeaways from the teams that they've only practiced 2 weeks, pretty much, give or take. Not as prepared as they would be in a traditional season. How do they look?
They look pretty good for the amount of time they've been given. I mean, lots of offense going on, lots of screens, lots of cutting. I mean, this looks like a pretty competitive game at this point, Ian.
It does look very competitive, and unfortunately, this year it comes with its stripes. And we really wish we could have fans here from both New Canaan and Fairfield Ludlowe. But we will show you at the next time out that we do have some form of fans here in the stands today. And when we have another break in the action of this one, we will show you what kind of fans we're talking about. Because in the year of 2020 and 2021, we always have to make adjustments. And the adjustments at the New Canaan basketball program for both the boys and the girls, it's pretty funny. And we'll show you that in just a moment. So again, 12-11 is your opening score. And really a great game from both sides. We actually saw some good amount of scoring from Leo Magnus. Connor Lawler looked good for Ludlowe. And hopefully we'll see Will Bazell get his first bucket in his return from his torn ACL. Connor Lawler has yet to check out in this game. You're talking about a nucleus for this team. He's the whole cell.
And with the mask on, too, Ian.
Bramwood on the move. Smooth, but a miss. Can't complete the Euro. On the other end, it is Lawler. Lawler working on Wilson. Nowhere to go. Began gets the screen from Keating. Slashing to his right. Getting it over to Sean Mockler. Baseline drive. Keating cuts and finishes through traffic.
Lots of passes and backdoor cuts here by the Ludlowe offense. Really confusing the defense of New Canaan.
We know Coach Dailey, he was a bit concerned of where the offense would come from this season. But when you're playing like this on the offensive end and sharing the ball like that, the buckets will come.
And now it looks like Ludlowe switched up to a 3-2.
Always well coached and well prepared under Coach John Dailey. Bramwitt spins at the top of the key, gets it to his brother on the elbow. He takes the jumper and can't get the assist for his freshman brother. On the far side of the floor, it's Galusha. Galusha stop and go. Wilson on Lawler. Wide open. The corner three is up, and it's no good on the high arcing shot from Sean Mockler. Blake Wilson pushing the pace. He hasn't taken a break in this one. Wilson looking to go coast to coast. He comes up short, grabs his own miss. Bramwitt, open three, connecting. Gavin Bramwitt retakes the lead for New Canaan, and Coach Danny Melzer calls a timeout with his team up 15-13. Now, I want to give an early shout-out to my production crew because I'm going to ask them to do a bit of a task here and try to show our virtual fan section if we can. But I just want to give a quick shout-out to our phenomenal producer, Emily Fox, our two cameramen, Max Alert and Harry Lee, our advisor, Roman Sobolski, and a couple of TV Oneers who are the future of our franchise of sorts who will be helping us out. Now, I hope on your screen right now is the virtual fan section. And if it is, this is what we have, folks. These are our fans. A lot of familiar faces, but the Scornia family, obviously, if you've watched New Canaan basketball here on our NCTV live streams, you know about Brendan Tiscornia, a great man and a good JV basketball player. Couldn't be with us tonight. I think I also see Coach Melzer's mother, who is here in virtual attendance, and a bunch of other members of the New Canaan boys and girls basketball family that make up the virtual fan section. If you want to get involved, I'll tell you about the details later, but all you have to do is check our description in the link to this video to become a virtual fan of New Canaan boys and girls basketball. It will only cost you $20 to get one of those fatheads, and you get to keep it for the rest of your life.
Great deal, Leon.
We resume action, just over 6 minutes left in the first half. Leo Magnus, Will Bozzella, and most of his starters checking back in for New Canaan. Vlandis to the hoop, open lay-in, and he gets the lucky roll as Coach Melzer, very frustrated, looks to check Blake Wilson right back into the game. Magnus at the logo in this tied ball game. Magnus again. Luckily, no shot clock here in the state of Connecticut. New Canaan taking their time, and the ball deflected out of bounds by Connor Lawler.
And Melzer did not like what he saw there. Someone messing up the offense right there, Ian.
And when you have a guy like Blake Wilson, who you can always turn to and get right back up with those fresh legs of a sophomore, you always want to try to put him back in the game. A guy who's gotten a little bit bigger this offseason, and Coach Melzer has a lot of trust in him as Gavin Bramwitt misses the reverse lay-in. Vlandis on the move, and he can't connect on the pass to Stephen Keating. You know, Blake Wilson, he's a confident guy. He's got a really great family. Wyatt Wilson, his older brother, currently a wide receiver at the Air Force Academy. His father, Mike, currently in attendance tonight as the team photographer. A well-known family in New Canaan. And Will Bozzella passed it right to the foot of Alex Vlandis. That's a kickball violation. Wilson cross court to Magnus. No look to Magnus now from Bozzella. Sweeney with the mid-range shot, and he airballs. Braden Sweeney, that is. Excuse me, Christian Sweeney. Heck, I've known him for 6 years, and even I still get him confused.
You know, Ian, this 3-2 zone defense here for Ludlow is really forcing New Canaan to throw these overhead passes cross court, which honestly, not what you want to be doing.
Charlie Began travels for Ludlow. Either team has really settled in on the offensive end so far, Matt.
Yeah, no.
Bozzella, Wilson, Christian Sweeney, Leo Magnus, Gavin Bram with the lineup for New Canaan as Magnus missing inside off the glass. But Will Bozzella takes the open three and cannot connect on the good look. Keating with the board. As the tempo starts to slow down here in the New Canaan High School gym. In the debut game for both of these teams on the FCX season. Landis with the take, and he finishes off the left side of the hoop. As Braden Sweeney will check in, back in for a moment for New Canaan. Halfway down in quarter number 2, and Ludlow with a 2 Point lead. Bounce pass to Magnus. Spinning. Ball movement good. Blake Wilson getting control of that ball. Magnus takes it inside. He's doubled and fouled.
You know, Ian, Magnus is playing right now with what they call the bench post, and he's playing right at that free throw line. And no one seems to be guarding him right now, so he could have just turned and taken a jump shot right there, but good take.
Leo Magnus will head to the line after our mask break here. There are mask breaks, I believe, at or around the 4-minute mark of every single quarter, and you can either use them as a timeout or just use them for a time for your players to get some rest with the lungs and the breathing. And it looks like Coach Melzer and Coach Dailey both talking it over with their team. If you're Coach Melzer in that huddle right now that is now dispersing back onto the hardwood, what do you think are the main takeaways that you're trying to communicate to your team right now?
I mean, honestly, right now for New Canaan, they just got to make some shots. They're getting open looks right now. I mean, if I'm Melzer, I'm telling them, take it slow. We're good. We're good. Our looks are good. Our offense is working. Let's just slow it down, make some shots, and win this game.
So if you are a newer fan of the New Canaan basketball team, let's do a little bit of a rewind of how the Coach Melzer era has gone for them over the last few years. Coach Melzer owns a 41-45 record here at New Canaan. But really over the last 2 years, a dramatic improvement, 33-14, which included a D4 state championship win in the 2018-19 season and a 12-8 year last year with another state win. Alex Vlandis open in the corner. He can't connect. Christian Sweeney cannot connect on the pass to Leo Magnus. Connor Lawler with the steal.
And it looks like New Canaan's starting to get into a press right here, trying to pick up the pace for the Ludlowe offense.
The ball off of Will Bozzella as Lawler was in the move transition-wise. Coach Melzer, a Stamford native, former head coach at Stamford High, where he spent 4 years, and he's really built a winning program here at New Canaan, and that's a 5-second violation. On the inbound, nowhere to go for Charlie Began.
Yeah, you know, and he had in the corner. I guess he just didn't see him there.
That's the thing. This team really, outside of 2 to 3 guys, a Connor Lawler, a James Mockler, a lot of these guys have zero varsity playing experience. Welcome to the big leagues a little bit. Will Bozzella lets it uncork for 3 and misses. Lawler on the move, looking to take it coast to coast, and a foul on the play. It's going to be a charge on Connor Lawler. It's going to head the other way.
Great play right there by Magnus. He saw that Lawler seemed to be a little bit out of control, and he was going to go into him, try to draw a foul, and he set his feet and picked up the offensive foul. Great play there by Magnus.
Magnus has really made some phenomenal strides, and that's why Coach Melzer said flat out, he's our best all-around player. Obviously, going to play college basketball at Colorado College with the size and athleticism he brings, we can understand why. Active on the boards down low, but he can't get the putback to go. The ball's still loose as Mockler and Wilson were fighting for it.
And you know, Ian, lots of open threes right now for New Canaan. I mean, as soon as these shots started falling for New Canaan, I mean, this game could change very quickly.
Pull-up shot for Alex Vlandis. He has not been shy to shoot. Magnus nearly loses it in transition. Finds Bozzella. Still scoreless. Finding Blake Wilson. Bozzella inside. Magnus to the hoop. Braden Sweeney open mid-range jumper. And he airmails it. And a foul on the floor on Fairfield Ludlowe's number 14, Charlie Began.
And, you know, I played a lot with Braden. That's his spot right there, Ian. I mean, he doesn't miss very many of those.
They call him the mid-range master or something. I don't know. That's his signature shot, but it has not been tonight so far. For the senior. Cut from Leo Magnus, and he finishes down low off the glass. A bucket New Canaan desperately needed.
Little confusion right there from Ludlowe.
New Canaan retakes the lead 18-17 with just under 2 minutes left in half number 1 in this low-scoring affair. Both teams looking to just shake off the rust after not playing in nearly a full calendar year. Mockler inside, fools Braden Sweeney, can't make the floater. Missing offline to the left. Leo Magnus with the board.
You see Melzer telling his players, let's go faster, faster.
And let's go shoot it, shoot it. Leo Magnus makes the three. Coach John Dailey, he needs a timeout. His team trails 4 after holding the lead just moments ago. And I think, personally, Matt, one of the things that really excites me about Leo Magnus this year is, look, we get it. He's 6'5", he's big, he's faster than anybody on the floor. He can dunk a basketball. But tell me how important it is for a player of his size and speed to develop an outside shot like that.
I mean, that is essential for a player like him. If you are athletic and you can score at will, to be able to knock down the open threes, obviously essential for Leo Magnus to be able to do.
You know, what I've heard over the years about him is he's a guy who in practice he makes a lot of threes, but last year it didn't really translate. And so far he's been showing that he's been willing to shoot that perimeter shot. He lets it fly there, and it looks like he's been very active today, both inside the paint, as you mentioned, in the post, and they haven't been able to contain him down there and on the perimeter too.
And you know what, Ian? I mean, if he can develop that shot even more and he can become automatic from there, he can be a sensational player for the Rams.
You know, people thought you lose an Alex Gibbons, you lose a Ryan McAleer, your program should be in a rebuild. But when you have guys like Leo Magnus and Will Bozzella, your team's probably going to be just fine.
And you know what, Ian? The New Canaan offense, New Canaan team is very young. Lots of sophomores, lots of obviously freshmen. I mean, they have a lot to look ahead of.
Lawler works it up the timeline, the Began. Baseline Mockler, good pass to Keating, which he can't corral. Wilson floats it up to Magnus. And that's a little bit of a flop down low from Began, but it kind of works because Magnus misses. Ball flying, Braden Sweeney gets it.
And Christian just said, hold up right there. Let's set up the offense.
There, yeah. Let's get some control in here, people, or not. Missed pass there from New Canaan. Just under a minute left in the quarter. And what has been a very sloppy game for both sides. Blandis looking for something as Bozzella hounds him. Over to James Mockler. Just over half a minute left. Lawler. Ball movement good. Blandis to his right. Finishing, no, with his right. He's short. Putback attempt is good for James Mockler.
And you know, Ian, you know what I love to see in an offense, and you know what Ludlowe is doing great right now? They're passing and cutting. Lots of back cuts going on right now. Lots of cuts to the middle. And you know what? That's obviously a big thing in basketball, to be able to cut and make those passes and score.
6 seconds on the clock. Can New Canaan score one more? Leo Magnus with the miss. And that shot will not get off in time from James Mockler. Welcome back to FCX basketball, everybody. What a great way to start off this season with a competitive game. I bet both coaches are pretty frustrated at the break, Matt. But it's just so good to see these guys back on the floor again after how last season ended with the state tournament being canceled midway through. And just to see these two teams who would have met up in the second round 11 months ago to the day tomorrow, it just feels like this was destiny, that this game was eventually going to be played.
Yeah, you know, I'm in a group text with some of them, and you know what, of some of the guys from last year, and you know that they were like, you know what, you got to get them for us right now. So, I mean, they're playing not only for themselves, but they're also playing for the guys last year that didn't get the chance to play because of COVID.
Very good point. COVID has been crazy in all of our lives. It's impacted us all, but luckily through restrictions and modifications, we have this game for you today. Ian Nicholas, Matt Wronski, and the rest of the NCTV crew will be right back after an 8.5-minute break. New Canaan with a 2-point lead at the half over Fairfield Ludlowe. School Gymnasium, where we have a New Canaan Boys Basketball team up against the Fairfield Ludlowe Boys Basketball team. But enough about us boring humans. Let's go to something that brings pure joy to pretty much almost anyone's life, and more specifically, the Wronski household. Can we please cut back to the virtual fan section where we will find a beautiful blonde dog, Mr. Wronski? Who is this fellow? Or this girl, guy, girl? What kind of dog are we talking
It
about?
is a guy. His name is Zeus. He's a mix of a golden retriever and a chihuahua, and he's a great man.
He's a half Chihuahua?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard of that mix. That's special.
Uh,
So, what did you play fetch with Zeus? Is he a swimming dog? What is Zeus's favorite pastime?
Oh, he loves to play a good game of fetch. He's more of a sleeper though. He likes to sleep around the house.
And who does Zeus like more, you or your older brother Steven, who used to be on the New Canaan Boys Basketball team himself?
I mean, obviously me.
Obviously you.
I'm the better dog caretaker.
I don't know if I can believe that, Matt. But, you know, we don't have any footage to back you up, so we're just going to have to take you as a man of your word. So if you want your dog, your cat, your whatever, your face, in the virtual fan section this year, here's what you have to do. If you want to become a virtual fan for both NC boys and girls basketball games this winter, take a selfie headshot of yourself or whatever you want up there and send it to rdgbackmom@yahoo.com. Again, that's rdgbackmom@yahoo.com. Then Venmo $20 to @Joseph-Magnus-1. Again, @Joseph-Magnus-1 on Venmo. 5 of the $20 will go to charity, and you'll also have your fathead for the rest of your life. Go to the description down low in this video with all of the details. Today is the last day you can order one. Again, today. Make it happen, people. Let's get some more fatheads in the arena here. And let's get some more buckets on this scoreboard. Dennis Mulcahy gets the scoring party started with that finish off the glass down low.
Great take right there by Mulcahy. I mean, brute force right there and pure strength by Mulcahy, just barreling into his defender.
Lawler here for Ludlow. Swinging it over to Mockler. Vlandis takes it inside, and a good shot contest from the big 6'5" Mulcahy. Bizzella still scoreless, looking to get his first points in his first game back from his major right knee injuries. As he slows down the tempo a minute into the second half. Starting lineup in for both teams, including the sophomore Blake Wilson, who swings it over to Leo Magnus. Canaan moving the ball well. Inside is Wilson, and he gets free for the lay-in off the glass.
Great cup right there by Wilson. Caught the defender off guard, Ian.
Ludlow has been in this game, but all of a sudden New Canaan is starting to build some momentum. Inside is Connor Lawler, and the foul is called on New Canaan. Foul on the floor.
And Ian, you can obviously see this kid Connor Lawler. He's obviously the leader of this team. I mean, when New Canaan starts to go on a run, he always seems to have a bucket for him.
That personal foul was on Blake Wilson, first of the half for either team. Inbound from Began goes to, you guessed it, Connor Lawler, and he finishes on the lay-in. He has really been the lone consistent force that Ludlow has been able to rely upon tonight. Mulcahy on the elbow. Over to Boz. Working it to Wilson. Wilson, who is left, picks up his dribble, gets it to the bruising Dennis Mulcahy, who is fouled. He's been much more active offensively to start this half than he was at all in the first.
Yeah, I mean, Mulcahy right now looks like he's just ripping and going to the basket right now. And that's what New Canaan needs him to do. They need him to be able to use his strength in a positive way.
He's got plenty of it. Strength, that is. Bizzella to his right. Wide open Christian Sweeney for the corner three. One of his signature shots if it doesn't fall. And he, pestering on the defensive end, somehow gets that steal from Lawler. But who is it out of bounds on? It is out of bounds on Christian Sweeney. He's always going to bring that effort defensively, Matt, and he nearly gets the steal there.
And, you know, both Sweeney brothers seem to have that level of intensity where they are just able to, I mean, it's that football in them. They're able to use that intensity to benefit them.
Yep. Used to be a football teammate of theirs. I was not nearly as good as they were. They're both superstar football, basketball, and lacrosse players and well-known in the New Canaan High School community. Speaking of well-known, James Mockler greets the basket with a lay-in. Both teams doing most of their work from the painted area tonight. Not a lot of perimeter shots falling for either crew. New Canaan still up 2. Blake Wilson, can he make the perimeter shot? I jinxed it. 13 drills for 3 on the open corner look.
You can't leave Blake Wilson open like that. I mean, he's a lethal three-point shooter.
There's a reason why in an all-senior lineup he's the lone sophomore starting. It's because he's got that raw talent. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. And really, ever since he's entered the program, Coach Melzer's loved him. New Canaan goes small here, checking out Mulcahy and checking in Braden Sweeney. Vlandis to inbound. To his right, it's Mockler. No good on the lay-in. Sweeney in transition, zips it to Blake Wilson, and an offensive foul is called on the sophomore. Taking the charge well, Charlie Began.
No, Ian, that wasn't
on the other end.
That wasn't an offensive foul.
That
was a blocking foul, yeah.
I thought Blake was a little frustrated at first. He threw me off.
Yeah, no, I thought that might have been an offensive foul too, but
the refs know better. Christian Sweeney resetting at the top of the key after probing into the lane. Just under 3 minutes down here in the third. Swinging it all around. Magnus working it across the key, and it's going to head the other direction as I believe an off-the-ball foul on New Canaan. And it's going to be on Braden Sweeney, which causes the turnover.
Yeah, Braden being a little too physical there. I mean, picked up the offensive foul.
I mean, can you look at him? He's a pass rusher in football. He's a force on the lacrosse field. He's going to get too physical sometime. Inside is Began, and with touch, he slashes it in. Ludlowe crawling right back in it after the strong start to the half for New Canaan. This young team is not going to go away. Coach John Dailey getting his team motivated on the sideline. Dailey, a teacher in the Bridgeport school system for over a decade, a middle school PE teacher, and also a former boys golf coach at both Harding and Bridgeport Central. That pass picked off by Connor Lawler, and he doesn't get too ahead of himself. Dailey's been in the Fairfield Boys Basketball program at Ludlowe for 14 seasons. He spent his first 8 as an assistant, working his ways up the rank from freshman to varsity assistant. We'll get to more on him in a second as I'm broken up by a Christian Sweeney lay-in. But he's been with this program for a decade and a half because he's a phenomenal teacher of the game.
Yeah, great play right there by Sweeney. Was able to make the offensive player for Ludlowe think that his teammate was open, but closed out quickly and took that ball from him.
Braden Sweeney picks up his third foul of the game as he gets in a little bit of foul trouble and a mass break. Our third of the game in the third quarter. 3:34 left in this frame as Braden Sweeney will check out for Gavin Bramlett. And New Canaan keeping the rest of their starters in the lineup. 5-point lead for the Rams, who will play Greenwich on Friday. This game was originally supposed to happen yesterday at 5 o'clock, but due to the inclement weather in the Fairfield County area here in Connecticut was postponed after Fairfield Ludlowe's athletic crew said no after-school activities. So they moved both this game and the girls' game, the girls for New Canaan, at Ludlowe currently, where I believe they unfortunately, well, not unfortunately for the Ludlowe fans, but New Canaan falling to Ludlowe on the road in the girls' program. And the boys looking to avenge that girls' loss with a win here tonight on their home court. Lawler to Vlandis. Mockler. Cutting is Leonard. Corner 3 for Lawler, and the nucleus man connects. He is driving the car right now for the Falcons. Wilson with it. Trying to pester away Vlandis, slashing to his left, pulling up, missing short. Rebound Began. Just under 3 minutes left in the third as Vlandis pulls it back out. Goes inside, wide open, Charlie Began, and he travels thanks to some hesitation on the three-point line. And just want to take a quick moment to thank the over 200-plus people watching live from both the New Canaan and Fairfield Ludlowe communities. We really appreciate your support here of the live streams, and we know that obviously at home, if you're a fan, you're a parent, you're a brother, you're a sister, it's not the same, but we appreciate you tuning in and hope you like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Gavin Bramwitt with the high arcing corner three. He can't connect. Connor Lawler with the board. Vlandis guarded by Griffin Bramwitt back in the game. Pull up on the other end is no good from James Mockler.
And you see lots of driving and kicking to corners for shots right now for Ludlowe. Great offense.
Really good ball movement from New Canaan, and Christian Sweeney foul on the three-point line. And his head coach, Danny Melzer, goes right out over there to pick him up. So he's going to get 3 shots at the line as frustration starting to build for Ludlowe. And Christian Sweeney, a player who is high school sports nonstop. I've mentioned it numerous times, a 3-sport athlete. His brother Tyler, a phenomenal player in this program a few years ago, and a 1,000-point scorer. And you got to feel for a guy like the Sweeney brothers, or guys like the Sweeney brothers, who, unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, sports is their entire lives right now, and they didn't get a lacrosse season, didn't really get a football season here in the state of Connecticut. But good to see these guys back on the floor.
Yeah, you know, Ian, it's great to see high school sports back and kids able to do what they love.
Exactly. The pestering press from New Canaan. It leads to an open three for Ludlowe, but it's a miss from Matt Vivona, who checks into the game for the first time tonight for the Falcons. And
great ball movement right there by Ludlowe. Got the open shot they wanted, but did not get they got the miss that they didn't want, actually.
Vivona, the 5'8" junior shooting guard, could not connect as the freshman Griffin Bramwitt moves it up. Magnus to Gavin Bramwitt, nearly losing it out of bounds. Getting it to his brother Griffin. Pulling it out. Christian Sweeney on the drive. Some acrobatics down low, and Christian Sweeney gets it to go.
You know, Sweeney really starting to pick it up now. That's the last 4 points for New Canaan.
New Canaan extends their lead to 6. A minute and a half left in this quarter, and a foul on New Canaan will go on Leo Magnus.
Oh, heartbreaker there, Ian. Lots of tempo, lots of good press right there from New Canaan. Got the steal they wanted, but the foul that they did not need.
You never want any foul of any kind, and momentum starting to build for New Canaan right there, and slowed down a little bit by that Magnus foul. Bazella checks in for Christian Sweeney. In the corner, it's Began. James Mockler on the drive. Cannot get it to go. Keating with the rebound for Ludlowe. Baseline Vivona, and that's an offensive foul. A charge, and he doesn't understand it, but Will Bazella does, as he's amped.
You know, you can really see the intensity of the Rams defense right now, really getting after the Ludlowe offense, making it not easy, pestering them.
New Canaan with 5 team fouls, Ludlowe with 4 in the 6-point spread, a minute and 9 left in the third quarter. Ian Nicholas, Matt Wronski, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action. And again, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want more live streaming of New Canaan boys and girls, boys ice hockey and boys basketball action. And 1 bucket for Leo Magnus, making his presence felt. Number 20 using that length and power.
And kind of a stare down right there by Magnus after that make. He needed that. He needed that one for momentum.
That's what I love about Leo Magnus. He lets you know he's there, but he's not going to get crazy. He's not going to get teed up. He's not going to stomp his feet on the floor and scream at you, but he'll stare you down.
And, you know, he reminds me kind of a Matt Brand from 2 years ago.
Yes.
Brought the intensity to the floor, but and was able to pester the best player on the team and defend him. And that was the reason that they were the great team they were.
And 1 free throw made from Leo Magnus, and earlier this year when the season was in doubt, Leo, a confident guy and a big believer in this team, said he believed this team was on par with where New Canaan was 2 years ago when they went 20-5 and won their first state championship since 1962. And it would be amazing to see them make a run like that again this year. Not in the state tournament, there is none, but in FCX. Good ball movement from Ludlowe. It leads to the open three-ball attempt from Lawler. It doesn't go in. And then Gavin Bramwick gets a bit ahead of himself and travels. As we have just over, sorry to cut you off there, Matt, just over half a minute left here in the third.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and another great possession for Ludlow. They're getting the open shot they won. Those are going to start falling soon, Ian.
Connor Lawler, he wants something to fall right now, as Ludlow could potentially take all of his time up here to finish with the final possession. High post look for Leonard, the biggest guy on this Ludlow squad. Vlandis to his right. Kick out to Lawler. Another open three attempt, and this time he can't make it fall. Magnus with the rebound. 5 seconds on the clock. Can he make some magic happen? Coast to coast. Magnus can't get it to go. No foul. The clock expires, and that's the end of three. A great quarter for New Canaan. 37-28 as Magnus thought that was a foul, and luckily, the only guy bigger than him on the team, Dennis Mulcahy, telling him to stay in check and keep his focus in the fourth quarter instead of losing his control a little bit there. 37-28, a low-scoring affair here right now. And Ludlowe, Matt, they really couldn't get anything going in that third quarter.
Yeah, you know, they were making great driving kicks. They were getting open shots. I mean, they were looking good. But I guess they're not falling right now. We'll see what happens in this fourth quarter. New Canaan came out and looked like the New Canaan I expected to see in this third quarter. They were really picking it up.
So what changed for New Canaan, that is?
Honestly, shots started falling. I mean, they really upped the tempo of the game. They were able to get Ludlow out of position with their press, and they were able to score.
You know, a great quote from Coach John Dailey, who has his team trailing down 9 right now and is going to do everything in his power to get his team back in. And he told me some of the things you can control, putting the ball in the basket. You know, you can't control who's on your team. You can't control if they're 6'7" or 5'7", but you can control what shots you take and how you get your guys open.
I mean, and you could have the best team in the world, but if the shots aren't falling, you're going to lose the game.
Let's see if Ludlow can pull off a comeback attempt here to start their season 1-0, or will the New Canaan Rams pick up right where they left off last season on a winning streak, albeit a one-game winning streak to end last season after they beat Bloomfield in the first round of the state tournament right here on March 9th, 2020, 59-51. And that is going to be a violation on Alex Vlandis. No, excuse me, it's a timeout. My mistake.
And you know what? John Dailey took that timeout, I think. New Canaan came out in a different defense that I think surprised him and had to use one there.
Yeah, I didn't like what he saw. Vlandis was in a tough spot. John Dailey calling his timeout. 7:47 left to go in this ball game. And what a turnaround it has been for this New Canaan program over the years. This was not a basketball town in the slightest when Coach Melzer got here 4 years ago. And he will deflect any credit that you give his way. But people from around the state respect the work he's done here. Turning this from a rest-stop sport into a sport where guys want to play and want to win. Winning by 9 right now. Can they start their season off strong?
And, you know, New Canaan's picked up in a 1-3-1 defense here. Different from what they usually play. I'm very surprised right now, but I like what I see.
It's interesting because Will Bozzella, in his sophomore season, has a turnover there off the hands of Eric Leonard for Ludlowe. He told me he injured his MPFL, a partial tear in his right knee during his sophomore season. He was playing 1-3-1 in the fourth quarter against Danbury. He got it on a rebound. He went up for the rebound. He came down on the knee, and he knew something was wrong. You want to know who he out-rebounded on that play, Matt?
Who?
Ja Joyner, 6'5", 250-pound defensive end, who's currently at the University of Minnesota. So if that doesn't tell you what kind of a player Will Bozzella is, as a person and as just a warrior, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that's heart right there, Ian. That is heart, and the love for the game of basketball.
Oh, he loves it. He loves his team. A turnover there from Leo Magnus. Danny Melzer doesn't love that one, but You're talking about the ultimate team guy with zero ego. That is number 14, Will Bozzella. Although he has been held scoreless tonight in his return of a 4. Here's Charlie Beacon for Ludlowe. Still a 9-point game. Just under 7 minutes left to go. Lawler dancing with Wilson. Right back to him. Vlandis to his right. Takes it to the baseline. Another open 3 for Lawler. And that would have been a huge shot for Ludlowe.
And he's missed the last 2 of those shots. I mean, wide open. He's been making them all night. They just got to get him going.
Foul on New Canaan. And it's going to be going the other way before that possession could even begin. Coach Melzer never satisfied, disappointed with that foul, and voicing his frustration.
Yeah, you know, you get a big stop right there, and you come right back, and you give it right back to Ludlowe. I mean, that's annoying if you're a coach.
Sean Mockler checking into the game for Fairfield Ludlowe. And he will take the corner 3 and connect on the high arcing triple. A massive shot for the Falcons down the stretch. Timeout called by Coach Melzer. His team with a 6-point lead, but he feels like things aren't breaking their way right now. And he'll elect to call the timeout with 6:06 remaining in the 4th.
And, you know, he seemed a little frustrated after that offensive foul, and I think that 3 just made him be like, all right, it's time to pause the game.
It is time to pause. No, a guy who I think is going to be a very interesting coaching candidate in the future, not coaching candidate, but an interesting coach, period, of his New Canaan program is Said Kazaman. Tell me a little bit about Coach Said, and I'll tell you a little bit about his story in a moment, but tell me about one of the Rams' new assistant coaches and what he's brought to these practices.
Yeah, so Said Casimir, he played at Trinity Catholic. It was an extraordinary player there. He then played for Iona.
He played for Iona.
And he was quite the player there. I remember I watched a film on him. He played against Duke in the tournament.
Yep,
and
NCAA tournament.
I think he had the first 12 points in that game, which is, I mean, if you
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable for someone to do. I mean, to say that you scored 12 points against one of the best teams in the nation is obviously something crazy.
There are only 2 people in this world who have ever shook Coach K. We had Student Reporter a few weeks ago, which got him all riled up after the game, and Said Casimir. He's an interesting guy. Coach Melzer's a Stanford guy, so that's a connection. A former star Trinity Catholic, Said Casimir was. This was his first year helping out as an assistant for the varsity team. He averaged 14 points per game in his first year at Iona. He was the MAAC Rookie of the Year. Freshman of the Year, I should say. Then transferred to Florida Gulf Coast. Averaged over 14 points per game there in his final season of college basketball, shooting 47% from downtown. He's going to bring a lot of shooting help to these perimeter shooters and young players of this New Canaan team in the future.
And he's only 5'7", Ian.
They list him at 5'9", 5'10", but if you're scoring that many buckets at 5'7" at the D1 level, you're doing something right.
Yeah, maybe he's a little taller.
Coach Melzer was like, I think I remember this guy, and he brought him onto the coaching staff this year. And he actually scrimmaged the players. They use him as a scrimmage player in practice. And when Will Bozzella didn't have to guard him after having to guard him for a few days, he's like, oh, this is much easier when I'm not guarding a former D1 player. Missed shot there from the Rams. Foul down low on Ludlowe. Will Bozzella collapse. And we will see a free throw trip for Leo Magnus, who has been the guiding force offensively for this team all night. The other varsity assistants for Coach Melzer, Coach Tisch, well-respected in both the basketball and baseball worlds here in New Canaan. JV head coach. And Coach McAteer, my journalism and poetry teacher alongside our phenomenal advisor, Roman Cebulski. And Coach Terrence Tatimi, a former UConn walk-on and great Stanford High player, who is the head freshman coach. A really great staff that Coach Melzer has assembled over the years here at New Canaan. 38-31, 5:20 left to go in this game, as Christian Sweeney says, we're not having any of that pass. Batting it out of bounds. Sending Sean Mockler to inbound on the near sideline.
Gosh, and I know I've talked about this all night, but the intensity of the New Canaan offense seems to be electric right now.
Vlandis getting it over to Mockler down low. Mockler finds Keating, and Keating hits for turnaround hook shot. Back to a 5-point game. Fairfield's not going away anytime soon. 38-33, just under 5 minutes remaining. And we're in crunch time. Magnus to Sweeney, who hesitates and gets it to Pizzella. Coming off the screen is Wilson. Good ball movement from New Canaan, but better defense from the Falcons. Screen from O'Kahee. Magnus to Sweeney. He doesn't take it. A long possession developing. Over half a minute. Taken off the clock. Pizzella gets the screen. Looking to take it all the way. And an excellent reverse down low for Will Pizzella. His first points in his return, and it makes me lose my voice. He's so good.
And you know, that possession took a long time, but in these crunch situations, when you're getting down to the stretch of the game, you really need to make every possession count, Ian.
And Keating looking to make the possession count on the offensive rebound and putback. He misses. Mockler open three. Sean Mockler misses left. Another offensive rebound, and it's Connor Lawler with the Ludlowe bucket. Timeout called. An excellent work on the boards there from a Ludlowe team that, frankly, is just out-muscling a bigger New Canaan team right now, Matt.
And you cannot let that happen, especially in this point of the game. To get out-rebounded by a team that's smaller than you on the offensive boards, it's not something New Canaan needs right now.
It looks like Ludlowe always has a response, although it has not been pretty all night for them. They're finding ways to put up points. They don't have the guys that they had last year when you're talking about a James Bork, a Rowan Kieser, an Ian Bentley. A lot better Ian than I am at basketball. They had a phenomenal class last year. Coach Dailey was a big fan of it. And this year, a bit of a rebuild, reset button mode. But this is a team that looks like they will be able to compete against the top dogs in the FCIAC all year long. Fairfield Ludlowe, that is.
Yeah, they look good right now. I mean, for a smaller team, they are killing it. And they're not getting out-rebounded by New Canaan right now, which is something I expected from a much smaller team. So you can really see them fighting like a Chihuahua against the Great Dane right now.
Like your dog.
Yes, like
half
my
Chihuahua,
dog.
of course. I'm never forgetting Zeus. I will always try to work him into my broadcast.
Thank you, Ian.
It's the least I can do for our virtual fan section. You shell out to $20, you're going to get a shout-out. And remember, today is the last day you can become a virtual fan for New Canaan boys and girls basketball. So, again, make sure to go to the description and check that out. Will Pizzella sets up here. Gets it to Wilson. 3:40 remain. New Canaan 5-point lead. The ball in the air and stolen by Vlandis. And a foul is called on Blake Wilson.
And, you know, New Canaan with the lead right now. We're going to see something I know Danny Melzer likes to do. If they can keep this lead, is he's going to want to hold the ball. Yep. There's no shot clock in FCIAC basketball, so he's going to want to hold the ball, take as much time off the clock as he wants, and hopefully get a good bucket.
Masked break here, our fourth and final. As a frustrated Blake Wilson goes over to talk with Danny Melzer, who's one of his biggest advocates. And also getting some help from Coach Tisch as well to motivate their young buck, who they have a lot of faith in, to perform in these big moments after the mistake he just made. 3:34 remain. Couldn't really ask for a much better way to start this season for New Canaan basketball. And make sure you tune into our live stream Friday up against the Greenwich Cardinals, where New Canaan will look to start their season hopefully with 2 straight wins if they can pick up this one and pick up another one. This one nowhere close to over, as Ludlowe is still fighting like dogs. Great kick-out pass. Wide open three. Offline to the left. Offensive board. And a foul called on Christian Sweeney. So it's a foul on the floor. And it's going to be a 1-and-1 opportunity, as New Canaan hits 7 fouls on the game. 7 fouls on the half, excuse me.
And New Canaan cannot let this happen. They cannot get out-rebounded right now at this point in the game. Ludlowe also, if they want to get back in this game, they start hitting these shots. They're having wide-open 3 attempts that are just hitting the front iron and missing by not that much.
James Mockler misses a critical 1-and-1 free throw. Magnus to his left, probes back out. Pizzella floating it to Wilson. Wilson to Magnus. Under 3 minutes remain. And the clock continues to roll just like you said it would. Magnus finally takes his shot and gets hacked. He'll head to the line for 2.
So, yeah, I know Melzer probably told him, take your time, get a quality look, and that's what they just did. They got Leo Magnus on a drive, picked up a foul, and an opportunity to make this a 7-point game, Ian.
Foul was on Charlie Began. Let's see what Leo Magnus can do here. The Colorado College bound forward. He's gotten better and better over his career here at New Canaan High, and he sinks the first. Six-point game, 2:46 remain. Scratch that, make it a 7-point game, as Ludlowe needs to score in bunches to stay in it. The press from New Canaan. That one might have been off the foot of Pizzella, but play on. Lawler to Began. Bounce pass to Keating, and Keating gets the lucky roll.
And he gave up a wide open 3 right there. Great play. Pump faked and got an even better opportunity.
Stephen Keating, the 6'5" junior, stepping up in a big way. Pizzella takes it back inside. Nobody there, and John Dailey doesn't know what went wrong. New Canaan calls a timeout after the bucket. Critical shot made there from Will Pizzella.
Now this is the Will Pizzella I'm used to seeing, Ian.
Yep.
Great take right there. Lost his defenders. No one was there. Recognized it, turned, and made that layup.
Just a high IQ player. Always makes the right decisions. That's what his coaches say about him, and that's exactly what you're preaching about him right now. Do you feel like Will Pizzella is flying to the peak of his abilities right now, or do you think as he gets further and further removed from that injury and he gets more varsity games under his belt, that Matt, he's going to get better and better?
Yeah, no, early in the game, he missed a couple threes, got off to a little bit of a slow start, but we see him right now picking it up. I expect to see a lot more from him this season. I mean, a tremendous player, and you know what, Ian, I expect to see him have a great career here at the high school.
Well, you know, Coach Tisch put it simply at this. If he stayed healthy and he didn't miss all those times with those knees injuries, he thinks he could have been one of the best players this program ever saw. And luckily, in this shortened season, he's going to be able to show people just how phenomenal a leader and a floor general he is. And Coach Melzer and Coach Tisch and the rest of his staff have nothing but high praise for him. He runs the ship here just like Connor Lawler does for Fairfield Ludlowe. 44-37 is your score right now. 2:16 remain. And New Canaan looking to pull out a victory in game number 1 of this season. Dennis Mulcahy checking into the game for New Canaan. All the starters in for the Rams. Keating flips it. Vlandis, kickball violation on Leo Magnus as he was looking to take off and maybe jam another one.
And, you know, Magnus, great defense there. Using his whole body, stretching out like he's doing jumping jacks.
I know where you were going with that one, but you see, looks like he's doing a jumping jack right now using that full extension. All 6'5" of Magnus. Began nowhere to go. Finds Keating. Good backdoor cut, and Began gets fouled. Really good cut there, and Lawler put it right on the money.
And he was not happy he missed that one. He could see it in his reaction there. He was angry.
8th team foul on New Canaan. And Began with 2 critical shots here. And he misses the first off the back iron. As Griffin Bramwood checks in for Dennis Mulcahy.
I mean, that's a little brave of Melzer putting a freshman at this late in the game, this crucial of a game to win. But you know what? He must have a lot of trust in him, and he must believe that he's the best player to be out there right now.
To say the least, trust he definitely has with this freshman. He's on the varsity team for a reason. New Canaan moving it around, just over 1.5 minutes remain. 2 missed free throws from Charlie Began and a timeout called by Coach Melzer with exactly 90 seconds remaining. And those were some really unfortunate misses for Charlie Began at the line. You need every point you can get down 7 right now, Matt.
Oh, yeah, those were crucial misses right there. And now it gives the opportunity for New Canaan to hold the basketball, take more time off the clock. And a 7-point lead is 3 possessions, so 1:30, that's not that much time for Ludlowe.
And Coach John Dailey and his inexperienced yet scrappy, hard-fighting crew overcome this 7-point deficit over Coach Danny Melzer with one of the strongest teams he's had here in his 5-year run now at New Canaan. Pull out the victory to start their season 1-0. That is the question. 90 seconds away from the answer. Here from the New Canaan High School gym, Ian Nicholas, Matt Wronski, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action. Magnus inbound to Bozzella. And he loses it. Connor Lawler on the move. Bozzella trying to keep up, and Lawler putting it in. And one bucket, Connor Lawler. And they're not done yet.
Yeah, you can't let that happen right there. That is a crucial thing right there. Ludlowe needed that bucket.
If Connor Lawler is a car that drives his team, and he's a Maserati, as he was blazing down the floor, and Bozzella stripped, stolen, and scored on, as he also commits the foul.
Yeah, Connor Lawler, he's looking fantastic tonight. I mean, he is single-handedly, honestly, kept Ludlowe in this game.
And just 8 seconds later, after the New Canaan timeout, Ludlowe calls the timeout, and it's a 4-point game after the and one 3-point play from Connor Lawler. He has been the do-it-all man, a Rudin report, all-FCAC preseason honorable mention, and it looks like he will definitely be in all-FCAC contention as this season goes on, and as he is really putting this Ludlowe team on his shoulders tonight.
Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, in a Ludlowe team that's been missing shots recently, they haven't been able to, put the ball in the basket. He's been the one shining star right now, and he's able to score and has kept Ludlowe in this game. So let's see how they finish it off.
Two of the best teams the FCAC has had to offer over recent seasons. Two of the best coaches, both former FCAC coaches of the year, and neither of their squads and star players have disappointed tonight. We're so happy to bring you this live streaming action, as this looks like it will go down to the wire. 44-40 in this low-scoring, gritty affair. Connor Lawler just converting the and one lay-in with the free throw make to get Ludlowe right back in this game.
Yeah, Ian, wow. I mean, New Canaan thought they had good control of this game right now, and one little turnover turned into an and one, and that really hurts them.
Christian Sweeney to inbound. Nowhere to go. Finally finds Griffin Bramwitt. Wide open Leo Magnus. The press from Ludlowe still hounding him. Working to his left. Here comes the double. Ball deflected. Picked up by Wilson. And Bramwitt is fouled. Lawler commits the crime. 7th team foul for Ludlowe, as Gavin Bramwitt alone. Okay, he also looked to check in. So here's the 1-and-1 for the freshman, Griffin Bramwitt. Looking to score his first career varsity points in the biggest moment of his basketball career. And he drills it. You talk about trust. Coach Melzer knows what he has in number 3, Griffin Bramwitt.
Even on that last previous possession, New Canaan almost turned it over again. So, they crucially needed Blake Wilson to pick that one up, swing it to Bramwitt in the corner, and for him to get fouled.
Bramwitt checks out for his brother, but he does his job, making both shots after being fouled by Lawler. Back to his 6-point game. 1:05 remain. Lawler spinning. Getting it to Vlandis. Wide open is Keating. And Keating brings down Gavin Bramwitt. And it's going to be a foul on Bramwitt.
Yeah, Bramwitt.
Blocking foul.
Bramwitt there, not able to set his feet in time. Could have been an offensive foul right there. He was going for it, but great play there right there by Keating to pick it up.
Keating was left all alone. Bramwitt tried to get in the position, but in the end, the blocking foul on the senior for New Canaan. In a big free throw miss there for Keating, too strong. Gavin out, Griffin in. The Bramwitt brothers high-fiving on the middle of the floor. 55.4 ticks left on the clock.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool, Ian. Two brothers what is it, 3-4 grades apart, playing together on this team. Probably never done that before. That's pretty cool.
The freshman and the senior. Keating goes 1 of 2. It's a 5-point New Canaan lead. Griffin Bramlett gets out of a trap to Leo Magnus, who's left all alone. No fouling from Ludlowe. And foul is called on the floor on James Mockler for Ludlowe.
Great offense right there by New Canaan, able to get the ball around, not subsiding to Ludlow's press, and able to get away there.
So Christian Sweeney is going to go to the line, the senior captain, 1 of 3, alongside Will Bozzella and Leo Magnus. He makes his first.
And you know what, Ian? The crucial difference I see right now from New Canaan and Ludlowe is free throws. New Canaan's been able to make their free throws, and Ludlow's been subpar. And you know what? That's a lot of points that could have been on the board.
That looks like it will be the deciding factor in this one, as Will Bozzella called for the off-ball foul, pushing James Mockler. 7-point lead for New Canaan, and those shots from the charity stripe, they're free. You should be able to make them at a higher clip, but the Falcons tonight have not come up enough at the free throw line. Mockler will go to the line, both teams in the bonus of sorts. He rolls that one in. Gavin checking out for Griffin.
And you know what I think Melzer's doing here is he knows that Gavin Bramlett is a better defender. He knows that Griffin Bramlett is better with the ball and is able to run the offense and break the press better.
And back and forth and back and forth. 5-point game. Mockler makes both his shots. Just under half a minute remain. Sweeney gets it, and he's fouled. He just went 2 of 2. Can he do it again? And that's exactly what New Canaan's going to do. I knew I asked you to be on the broadcast for a reason, Matt. You know what you're talking about.
I do.
You know, you might be a Cowboys fan, I might be a Giants fan, but we come together for something. That's all that really matters.
You know what, Ian? Giants, terrible team. Don't like them.
This is a discussion for another day. And that discussion could last a long time. A discussion that doesn't last a long time, Christian Sweeney at the free throw line. He's perfect. 4 of 4 down the stretch. Not much to talk about there.
Oh, he's been automatic.
Connor Lawler, speaking of automatic, with the speed to get that one to go. And then Will Bozzella is fouled by Vlandis. So still a 5-point game. Again, Ludlowe having a response to keep in this one. And now Bozzella will head to the line.
Will Bozzella, 2 shots.
Bozzella misses his first off the back iron. So still a 2-possession game. Would have been either with the miss or the make. He goes 1 of 2. 6-point game. 12 seconds on the clock. Lawler on the move. Going coast to coast, and he gets the bounce off the front rim. 4-point game.
Wow. He is honestly putting the team on his back right now, and he's just driving down the court, trying to give Ludlowe a shot at this game.
Pure speed from Connor Lawler. As the foul instantly comes from him, Blake Wilson will go to the line, the sophomore. In the game that just won't end, only 4.4 seconds remain. Ludlowe with a slim chance, and they are keeping it alive.
Yeah, you know, in 4.4 seconds, not a lot of time. Not looking too good for Ludlowe right now.
Wilson missing his first. Still a 4-point outing. Regardless of win or loss tonight, Ludlowe still has more of their schedule to play, and they will play Trumbull on the road next Friday. Wilson goes 1 of 2. Timeout called by New Canaan. 5-point game. Ludlowe needs 5 points in just over 4 seconds. We've seen crazier things happen in this gym before, but that would be special.
Yeah, that Ryan McAleer half-court shot that honestly made New Canaan basketball what it is today and how known it is today.
It truly is inspiring to see what Coach Melzer has done here. He knows that he's just getting started. loves the community loves him right back. This team looking to get back to the FCAC tournament this year in the 18-team format, so every team's going to go to the FCAC tournament this year. It's just a question of who will win the dance. It's going to be like March Madness in the FCAC, so that will be very interesting. Obviously, getting a little bit ahead of myself here, Matt. This is only game one. Neither team has won yet, but New Canaan is looking to make that run, and the goals for this team this year are very high.
And, Coach Melzer, he's developed a terrific coaching staff here at New Canaan. I mean, former college basketball players, Michael Tisha, an electric coach. He's able to really show his enthusiasm and get his players excited to play.
Began with the big pass down the court and the floater short. That's your ball game. 52-47 is your final score in this hard-fought, back-and-forth battle. These can't meet in the middle and high-five each other for the good game, giving the wave. And we will give you the wave right in here now on NCTV. Thank you so much for tuning into this one, regardless of where you're from, New Canaan, Fairfield, Connecticut, the moon. We appreciate your viewership. We appreciate you sticking with Ian Nicholas and Matt Wronski right here in the stands. And we want to thank the entire NCTV 78 crew before we wrap up in this one. We want to thank our superstar producer, Emily Fox, our audio woman, Sydney Sabilla, our graphics man, Joey Jacobson, our cameraman, Harry Lee and Max Alert, obviously me and Ian Nicholas, Matt Wronski, our advisor, Mr. Sobolski, our athletic director, Jay Hegan, and everyone who made this broadcast possible. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, your final score for the New Canaan High School gym, the Rams 52, the Falcons 47. We'll see you Friday for New Canaan Boys Basketball up against the Greenwich Cardinals at 5 o'clock. Make sure to tune in.